tying a hackled wing blue winged olive. This is my favorite variant of blue winged olive, just because it's a little more realistic. They're a lot more durable than other ones, and they float way better than other ones. The blue winged olive is a really gloomy day kind of fly. Most of the hatches I get into these are on like a really overcast day, sometimes windy, cold days, and most of the time even a little bit like drizzly days. Just a size 14, very common, just dry fly Daiichi. Alright, and the thread I'm going to be using today is a size 6.0. Not too dark. You don't want to go too dark just because the hackle, the dubbing that we're going to be using. First thing we're going to be doing is putting the wings on. So we're going to start off just about a eyelet's length behind the eyelet. You're going to take your gray hackle. This is just a hen neck I have. And what you want to do is you want to make sure you take them from the same clump. So you want to take two hackle that are pretty close next to each other, just because then they're going to be like the same size and same shape. You can see they kind of bend a certain way. Is you want to take your hackle fibers or your hackle tips. You want them pointing away from each other. So you see how I kind of got a V there? A V going there? That's what you want to look for. So then what you want to do is you want to take a hook's shank's length of hackle fiber. I'm going to bring that up to your thread. You can tie it off. I'm just going to do 2 or 3 loose wraps. You can take your fingers, make sure it's straight, and you can tighten it down. Do a few more wraps, and you can see how I did it with the rest of the hackle hanging off. That's actually good because you want it a little bit more hackle there, because that's going to get your body shape and size. So I'm going to wrap it all the way down. You can see I just left those hackle fibers hanging off the front. Wrap it all the way down, and this is where you can kind of make your body. So once you get to the end, you can take, I usually take the hackle fibers that I either just used, or if they're not big enough, which in this case they're not, I'm just going to take one more bigger piece, and you're going to go ahead and you can split it back, and that's where you can see it'll show you kind of the fibers there. You can go ahead and peel some off, and you're just going to take a little more than a hook's length there, just because they do have big tails. A little more than a hook's length there hanging off the back, and that's going to be your tail right there. Bring it back down to the tail. This is where we're going to do your dubbing. So I got some super fine dubbing here, just kind of mid-olive dubbing. The nice thing with the super fine is you can get a really small dubbing noodle on there, so you can see how small I got that. So you can go ahead and do it, and then I usually slide it up after I do it, just so I don't poke myself with the hook. And you can really slowly wrap it around. Get that nice fat looking body, and then right about an eyelet's length below your right below your wings there, you can stop right there, take that dubbing off, because right there is where we're going to put our hackle from when we wrap it around. So you're just going to take about a size 12 hackle. So you can see I got a solid size piece of hackle there, and then you're just going to rip off the last 4 or 5 fibers, and that's where we're going to tie off. What that does is that just makes it look a little bit cleaner. So you can do a couple wraps, and this is where we're just going to tie up the shank a little bit to get those wings a little bit further up the body, and that'll give you some hackle spinning room. You can go back to where we tied off the hackle, and then we're going to do just a few more spins of dubbing, and then you can keep that dubbing going right in front of the wings, just like so. And you are going to have a little bit of hackle fiber to cut off, but that's just because the way the hackle bends back when you make those wings, just like that. And you can see those fibers are standing up now, and then you can go ahead and spin your hackle. Okay, and then right about an eyelet's length behind your eyelet, you can go ahead and just do 2 quick wraps to tie it off. Make it nice and tight so it doesn't undo your hackle. Do just a couple more. Last thing you want it to do is slip off your eyelet, because you're going to basically have to redo your fly. And you can go ahead and whip finish it right behind that eyelet. Again, not too close, you don't want it to slip off. Tighten her up and cut her off. Okay, now that you tied off, you can go ahead and fix that wing there. Get it nice and pointing straight. Wet the fingers a little bit, kind of get it the shape. And then what you can do, go ahead and just flatten that bottom there so it'll sit nice and straight on the water just the way you want it, wing up. And there you go.